Well, hello all you lovely YouTubers. Today I'm going to show you how to power any car audio amplifier at home with the help of one of these. Stay tuned. So I've been using my benchtop power supply to run the sub from my garage stereo here, and I really want to utilize that. When I'm running that, I can't really use my benchtop power supply as a benchtop power supply. So we're going to go ahead and hook it up with its own power. Here's a list of some of the things that you're going to need. First thing is a power supply, and you can use just about, there's so many different types of power supplies you can use. This one, as you can see, is from a DirecTV box, and the thing that I liked about it is that it's 12 volts, 4 amps. Now, 4 amps is about the lowest I would go. You might want to go a little bit higher, but basically, when you're looking for these, this is what you want to look for. Your input, which is, mine is 120 volts, but you want to look for, your proper input. And then you want to look for, mainly if you're doing a car audio amplifier, you can go from 12 volts up to 15. I wouldn't go any higher. They can take 16, but I wouldn't go any higher than that. And then, you can just kind of always find the specifications on it. Like right here, we have a Samsung, just a wall charger for a phone, and you can see it says input. This one is 100 to 240 volt, and then the output is 9 volt at 1.67 amps or 5 volt at 2 amps. So just about any type of power supply is going to have those specifications on it. The next thing you will need is a switch. Although this is not mandatory, it's kind of mandatory, because if you don't have a switch, then your sub is just going to stay on all the time, which if you don't mind, I guess that's fine, but I'd like to just be able to, turn it off. And now this switch literally can be any type of switch like in the world. It can be a wall switch, like for the mains powers. It can be a little rocker switch, it can be a toggle switch like this. Any type of, whatever's going to be best for your application. The next thing is, if your stereo or your hi-fi, whatever, doesn't have a dual subwoofer out, most of them only have a single one. You will need one of these. This is an RCA, basically adapter, just goes 2 to 1. It is a single female end going to a dual male end, and we will get more into that later. Always good to check the voltage on them. This is just a very cheap, very cheap from Walmart voltmeter, so that's something you'll need. You're also going to need, a means to connect your wires, basically. I don't know if I'm going to solder these yet, or if I'm going to just use the old boom connectors. And then this is some heat shrink, just to kind of, wrap the wires. Okay, so now the first thing that we're going to look at is the business end of the power supply. So this was actually already like this. I guess they might have been using it, whoever gave it to Goodwill might have been using it for the same type of thing, or had the same idea. But this is actually pretty cool, because it's got, I believe that's a little ferrite collar there to prevent RF or something, I'm not sure. So basically, this one's kind of easy because it's got a center positive, and the negative actually wraps all around, also to promote shielding. And so basically, what we can do is I will go ahead and plug this in, and let's make sure that this is actually getting 12 volts. We will not let these touch. So the black always goes in the common, and then the red, if you're not doing amperage, usually goes into the one that looks like it says VOMA, V-omega M-A. The one that always has an A next to it means amps, so we'll go into that one. Now we will go to volts of the direct current flavor, and try to... Pretty sure that's positive. Okay. Let's see if I can do this so you can see. 12.16 somewhere around there, so that'll work. And now because this is only 4 amps, it's not going to actually be able to, let the subwoofer make its full power, which is just fine for me in this, scenario. I don't really ever turn it up too loud, and I don't want to, make the neighbors mad. So, okay, step 1, we unplugged that. Step 1 is done. Now, for the switch, like I said, any type of switch will work. You need wire, obviously, to go however far you want your switch to be from your amplifier. Basically, just take, some wires, put one wire on one pole, one on the other. And I already have the other ends, stripped. And so now how we hook this up is I've already taken and put in some boom connectors on here. Now, if this type of amp actually has this harness, but just imagine, the red as your positive from the battery, the black your negative from the battery, and then your blue from a remote. Every amplifier has those 3, and then these are the RCAs. We'll worry about that later. So what I'm going to do is first off take the positive, which is the white one here, and we're going to take one side of one of the wires that actually come from the amplifier. And so now if you have a regular amplifier, on this step you would be hooking your remote into your positive terminal, which the way I'm doing it here is going to differ slightly. So also what I'm going to do to prep this, because I do want to put a little bit of heat shrink on them, is I will put the heat shrink actually on this side, so I know that I'll have enough room to get it back there. And also, to further what I was going to say, I should really put a little dab of solder right there, the way I'm doing this. And also, this is a metal connector that was just on the end. Don't ever, really crimp a butt connector to one of them. It should be all, you should really be connecting a butt connector to actual stranded copper. But just for demonstration purposes, and because this isn't really going to be moving, it's going to be a stationary thing, I think this will work just fine. So basically, yep, let's pretend we soldered that onto there. That is our positive lead from our power supply, and just one end going to the switch will go straight to the positive for our amp. And also, again, I do not have a proper crimping tool, so just give that a little tiny so it'll hold. And then my thought is, once we heat this up, that should kind of hold on to there a lot better too, and kind of hold that that very shoddy joint that I made for the remote wire on there as well. That's marine heat shrink tubing, so it's got like glue in it. Okay, now, easy as pie, we're going to take the other end of the switch, the other wire of the switch I should say, and I'm not sure that this is going to fit into this butt connector. I guess it does. Again, use proper tools, but this is just, as a little demonstration. I think we'll do just fine. I'll go back and fix it later. And heat shrink's always cool because you get to burn stuff. I mean, I could have like a proper heat gun, but what fun is that? Okay, so that is our pretty much our remote. Our switch for our remote is hooked up, and our power lead is hooked up. Now we're just going to follow suit, hook the black to the ground on the power supply. Be cool if those kind of like snapped in there, but they don't. Okay. And again, Do as I say, not as I do. Fire. I probably shouldn't say this, but I was watching a thing that said that that whole fire thing from Beavis and Butthead wasn't even real. But I don't know, I'm sure it is. So yeah, now if I had some tape, I would tape all that up very nicely. Now that's pretty much, if you have, you know, a regular amplifier, that's pretty much all hooked up except for the RCAs. Now, like I said, I only have a single output from my amplifier. So what I'm going to do is right now hook these up. Blah-dow. And so that's everything set. Now, pretty much the only thing that I haven't really mentioned here is where I'm going to put my switch. Now, just so happens that right here, literally right here, you probably can't see it. And in this hole, yeah, that should kind of come out there. So that's my little drawer. So when I pull my drawer out, if it wants to pull out, I got my little switch. Okay, so sorry about the video quality, but this is under where we have the subwoofer. Now what I did, you can see this is where my switch is for my drawer. I have one of these little things on there, and I'm going to go ahead and probably secure it back there so it's not just kind of hanging down. But here we have everything all set up. Again, I'm very, very sorry about the camera angle and all this. All that, this and that. So basically, from here, I'm just going to plug that in. That will hang out somewhere down there. I have the other side of the cord going up to there. I will hook that up. But for now, plug that in. All right, so I see the light is on. Here's the switch. We will flip it off, on, off. Okay, so that's working. Then all we do is just hook up the input to the subwoofer. All right, and let's test it. It's up pretty loud. It's working. Alright guys, that's about it. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or if there's anything that I missed, go ahead and put them down in the bleep loops down there. I thank you very much for watching, and if you're not subscribed, go ahead and check us out. You're probably going to like us. If you are subscribed, thank you so much. We love you guys, and we'll see you guys in the next one. More content coming, I promise. Thanks guys. Have a good one.
Your mom would be very happy right now. She was so happy.